Youth Runner Magazine here at the Inland Empire Challenge with Rylee Blade of Corona Santiago, four-time champion of the Brenda Martinez Sweepstakes. Congratulations, 15:49.5, I believe was the time.
Yes.
Congratulations. Rylee, you didn't have, as part of the plan, Braylon Combe, your teammate, probably would have been the only one to at least push you a little bit, and she wasn't running, just part of a scheduled week off. But you still put up a great time. So what difference does that make? Or at this point, you've just got this internal clock, I know, that you're able to still run a great time and pace yourself.
Yeah, today it was more about, my coach gave me a pacer out in the first mile to kind of stick with that, so then we can work on it for like weeks in advance. So it wasn't really about running like a super fast time here, which I wasn't really expecting that time, so I'm pretty much like surprised myself with that. But it was more just trying to get out here and do the strategy my coach told me, and to work on my race execution.
And you feel like you even if you didn't know the time, you felt like, were you surprised at the time as you're crossing the finish line and you see what the time is?
Yeah, definitely, because I felt pretty controlled for the most part. The only like semi-difficult part was probably that back part, because you're by myself, and it was a little bit more quiet on that part. But for the most part, I pretty much surprised myself with how well I felt.
That doesn't happen too often, though, I'm guessing, right? Like when you look at the end and you're like surprised at a time, I'm guessing usually you have a pretty good idea. I know in track it's different because you see the times all the time, but a lot of meets in cross country, even if you don't see how it's going or a time, like I guess at Clovis you probably do, but here a lot of other races you don't, but you have a good sense at the end. Like, I know I'm running a good time. Like last week, you knew you were running a good time. So is that unusual? That's unusual, right? Isn't it?
A little bit, but also not really, because my coach is usually at each marker yelling out the times I'm at. So I wasn't like really surprised. I just kind of surprised myself with how I felt for the times that I was splitting. But Clovis, we have the mile markers and it says the time right there, so that's a little bit easier to gauge and to know if you really need to pick it up, or if you're like right on pace, or like what you need to do.
So you won this as a freshman, and then you've kept winning. I mean, you came on. There was not a lot of. I mean, I guess as a freshman, as good as you were, I don't know if you were expected to win necessarily. Did you expect 3 years ago when you're coming into this race?
No, definitely not, because my freshman year, I didn't really take it too serious. I kept wanting to go back to soccer, so I didn't really take running very serious at the time. So just the fact that I was able to get out there and pull off that win, and then it helped me for trying to get this 4-year, which was one of my goals after I won it my freshman year, to try and get the 4-year goal. So that definitely was a big, huge step in my running career, because I wasn't expecting at all to win that one.
Okay, so running and winning this as a freshman kind of get your mind off of soccer a little bit and more onto the running?
It was more of after I broke my foot in track season that I focused on running.
Okay.
So I think it was once I took a step back from running and actually got a joy for it, I think that's when I really started focusing on it.
You really missed it.
Yes.
So now 4-time champion. How does that sound?
That's crazy.
Maybe they'll be naming a race after you eventually?
I don't know. That would be really cool, but I'm not holding anything to it.
Congratulations, Rylee.
Thank you.